Yes, it's finally here. Welcome, everybody. It is the Armoury TV. Boy, it's been a long time coming. 30th of June, here we are. And as always, I have my esteemed guests. But first, before we do that, what I wanted to do basically is introduce these guys because been working with these guys now for a good few months. And I have to say, bad boys for life, seriously. Utmost respect for these guys for the work that they've been doing. Pure Arsenal fans, Arsenal through and through. And not only that, listen, I have to say, not only are they just Arsenal fans, but they're the true brothers as well. I can call them true brothers in their arms, boy. So listen, no further ado. You know me, Canners, Gunner. You get me on Twitter, Armoury TV. Listen, that's me. Loved Arsenal since I was a little youth. I'm going way back now. I'm going to show my age now. Show my age now. I've had the good, the bad, and the ugly Arsenal teams, man. Starting from managers like Terry Neal, and then going to Don Howe, to George Graham, then Bruce Rioch, then Wenger, and obviously the last two, our managers that we had. But I tell you, man, there were some barren years. And I tell you what we're going through now ain't nothing to the mid-80s. Let me tell you that right now. But listen, I'm going to introduce my brother, GunnerKing. He's been doing massive bits on the whole socials. Listen, King, talk to me, man. Welcome. Bless.
What's going on, guys? So, yeah, it's the GunnerKing. You know, like... Arsenal till I die, through and through since the 80s. Grew up on the days of Ian Wright. There, you know, to Thierry Henry, to you know, I go to the barber. I'm like, you know, he's like, "What do you want done with your hair?" I'm like, you know, Thierry Henry. He's like, "Say no more." So yeah, like you guys can find me on the Twitter space, GunnerKing. I also am very active on TikTok as well, putting up various kind of video generated content there, engaging with fans on there, both from our fan base and others as well. Yep. My handle there is GunnerKing14. Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm just here today. Obviously, at the moment, in terms of what I'm working on, you know, is obviously with you guys, the Armoury, GunnerKing Court. We're running that every day as well throughout the transfer window to discuss the latest Arsenal transfer news, usually at 7 o'clock every day except Wednesday when we do our Gunslingers show like we are now.
Everybody got that. I tell you, serious show.
Yeah, so be sure to tune into that, feature regular guests from our fan base to speak to them in depth about transfers. And yeah, I mean, you know, amongst that, you know, I've kind of like been featuring here and there a bit on other people's shows, Egal, you know, a little bit on the terrace, you know, as a membership guest.
Names dropping now.
Name dropping, a lot of stuff going on Twitter Spaces as well. You know, so yeah, I mean, you know, just reach out to me, man. Let's talk things Arsenal.
That's what we're here for. Exactly what we're here for. Listen, and also listen next. Oh my God, the creative designer here, the one who puts pure, the Rob Holding fanatic.
You have to get that in.
You can never say anything bad about Rob Holding. If Rob Holding was Prime Minister, I tell you what, my man, we were looking to get right up in there.
He's gonna forget defending Vieira and start defending Rob Holding.
I know. He's gonna come up with Rob Holding. Listen.
No.
Mr. Silver Fox, listen, mate. Listen, without you, none of this would be happening. You've been an absolute breath of fresh air, man. Persistent in what you do, and thumbnail second to none. You're the creative genius behind all this. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm just one of a few, but I'll take that. Thank you very much.
And maybe
the
one day
thing, you'll see me from. Sorry,
I said maybe one day we'll see your beautiful face.
Well, I'm far more better looking this way.
Radio, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But no, thank you. And yeah, I do go on about Rob Holding quite a bit. I do call myself a Rob Holding advocate. Those that follow me on Twitter will know that. My Twitter handle is at MrSilvaFoxAFC, if you don't already know. Been a gooner since around 91, 92, the days of David Rocastle, Ian Wright, Paul Mercer, and all of them. To these days that I'm actually the days of old. But we'll come back, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what we're going to bring onto this channel. And yeah, unlike Mr. GunnerKing, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and I'm going to move this on.
Okay, my man was ad-libbing there for a bit as well. Love that. Listen, next man. Oh my goodness. This guy, listen, I have to say, we'll come to you, Mr. Nigerian Englishman. We'll come to you. Oh, Jesus.
What's up, man?
You just bum rushed the show.
Brother, forgive me.
No, we're gonna come to you. But listen, first and foremost, what I want to do is introduce our man Gumsa. Listen, Gumsa, man. When he came on, absolutely, he was a ledge. Because he just brought the tactical awareness where he just started blowing man's mind with what actually Arteta was doing. When nobody understood what Arteta was doing, my man Gumsa, man, he put it in perspective and changed. And actually, I can say, he changed my view on Arteta, to be fair. And he made me see things that I didn't see before. No, listen, real talk. Gumsa's like, you know what I mean? The water to the next man's fire. Listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm here. Do you know what it is? I'm here on
the
the
same guy
wind-up.
that tried to convince us about that Spanish guy. The same guy that tried to convince and then he said his name. And then he said his name as well.
My boy Danny C.
Danny C. But Gumsa, blessed to have you on there, brother.
No, I appreciate the love, guys, and appreciate for having me on here. I've really enjoyed my time so far, and I'm looking forward to many more great debates with my partner next door. Yeah, boy, he's my boy from days. So yeah, it's been fire. Like, but again, I love everyone's passion for the club. Do you know what I mean?
Love that.
We all have different opinions, but actually, what we do want at the end of it is the greater good for Arsenal. However we get there,
100%.
and everyone's, do you know what I mean, on the same wavelength. Again, I'm not the most active on the socials, but when you see me, I'm just looking for trouble.
We know.
So,
We
got you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter. It's Gunner.Gumsa. I am going to start being a bit more active. I know I've got to get my name out there a little bit more, create some more trouble.
Yeah, man, seriously.
Yeah,
for me, I like to for you as well. We get that.
I like to look at things. I like to look at things a bit different, and that's where sometimes everyone reacts. Do you know what I mean, to the instant thing? Sometimes I like to look back and think, don't get me wrong, I could get it wrong.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'd like to look sometimes at the other side and see if I can find a different loophole of what people are doing. So, I'm here.
Everyone's losing their heads. You're keeping it, man, and you're just.
I'm trying to keep calm. I'm trying to stay behind. I'm trying to stay behind Arteta, so I might be the last one left, but I'm hoping it proves me right.
After 6 games, we'll talk.
Yeah,
my man, my G, the last man for this crew. Listen, this guy. He talk about. I can't even say them. He gets us moving. Even when we're sad, he gets us moving. He brings that energy he brings, man. Only a man from Lagos can bring. Or where you? You're Abuja now? Or you Lagos?
I'm in Lagos.
You're in Lagos. Okay.
I'm back home now.
And this is just showing you that we're truly international, man. To have a brother from Lagos coming here, blessed to have him. Oh, mate. Listen, love the vibe. Love everything about this guy, my brother, Nigerian Englishman. from one
Oh
time.
yeah, now my people, what's in the happen now? Come to give the vibes, you know, straight from Lagos, always, each and every time. I'm here for one reason and one reason only: my love of Arsenal Football Club.
100%.
Yes, they take me through so many different times, but one thing I know is I'm unbreakable now. I'm literally unbreakable.
Dude,
I've got
we're immune to hurt.
Bruv, I've got what they call an unfuckwithable attitude. That's what I have. Bro. That's it.
Love
because
that.
you gotta have it to support this team, and I'll be here when we get our glory days back, because they will be back. All these United
they're coming back.
and Liverpool fans, they're forgetting all them years they went without winning the league. So they're forgetting that they've gone through this period before. So it's just our turn.
100%.
But we'll come back stronger for it, man. I'm excited.
100%.
Let's go.
And today, boy, I tell you what, we got some breaders to come on now, boy. Listen, if you saw the intro, a lot of the captions they were from wars from yesteryear. Your Keane and Vieira, your kind of Van Nistelrooy missing that penalty, all them kind of, those kind of battles. But look, today we're going to talk about Keane and Vieira. And what better way to discuss this monumental battle of yesteryear than the boys from United Agenda? We have them backstage. Let's bring them on. Let's bring them on. First one.
Mr.
Solo.
Bring it on, boys.
Listen, it's a packed crew tonight. I'm going to pack in tonight.
What?
We're going to bring in
Retro.
Mr. B.
This is madness.
Yeah.
What? He came in repping and you're kissing the badge on our channel. What?
Listen.
Hold on.
Hey, listen, the next
That's right here. This badge right here.
I've got to give this guy an intro because my man knows everyone on the street. Doesn't matter where he is. He could be in Timbuktu. And my man will, someone just come up to my man and says, yo, Monday from United Agenda. Doesn't matter where he is. My G. On Monday, Juma. Well on.
Yes, boys. Welcome.
Congratulations on the new show. Let's go.
Let's do this, boys.
We're making it a fight tonight. And what
Since it's a war, man, I had to change a quick.
Bring out the colours. That's what we like. You know what I mean? Listen.
Congratulations, boys. Congratulations.
I see Mr. B coming with his Man U tracksuit, and I had to come and represent, man.
Damn skippy, boy.
I'm feeling hot already just from here now. Guys, it's blessed to have you guys on for our first show, and
thank you for having us, man.
Thank you, pleasure.
All I can say is that remember those times that, because what we're going to talk about really is obviously the Keane and Vieira battles, and those two players. I don't think that we can agree on who was the better player, but I'll give it a good shot. And I'm sure we'll give it a good shot. But listen, what I want to ask you guys, each and one of you, right? Amondi Juma, Mr. B, and Solo, your favorite game between those two players that you can remember. Amondi, give me the one game where you just thought, do you know what? For me, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. It could be a game you lost, I doubt, or a game that you guys won. But give me that game and why.
Okay. I was doing a little research before the show. And just, I want to say grace. Dear Lord, make the Armoury strong. Make them get back to that level 2002, 2003, so we can battle once again and they can dine at our table. Amen. Amen, everybody.
Wow. I'll give you that one.
That's all.
King, let him have that one. Let him have that one.
I just wanted to talk with a prayer of my own.
No. Let him have that. You know what? We're humble.
Save it, King. Let him have
We're going to let them talk first. Let them have their say. We're humble. Right.
I might need some help from my Man United pundits here, but I believe the game where Keane came to Highbury against Vieira and scored goals. And I think it was a tunnel game. I'm not sure. I didn't do my research.
Definitely wasn't a tunnel game. Don't try.
It wasn't a tunnel. It was a game where United came to our top rivals, and Keane led us led the boys, the academy boys, and mush up Arsenal at Highbury, one of the top stadiums, one of the best sides, and this was one of the best Arsenal sides there's ever been. And Keane, on his own, led them like men and rode off into the sunset and took a Champions League and a league title that year. So I'm really happy to be on the show, but most of all, I think this is a great battle. When the best time was when Vieira and Keane locked up at Highbury, and Keane came out on top and scored goals to add to the misery. Thank you.
I think he was right, because I think that the Tunnel game we lost that 2-1, and I think King scored the winner in that game.
Okay.
Nah, bro.
Someone Google it.
No, that was O'Shea.
The Tunnel game was the O'Shea nonsense.
Yeah,
and the game that he talked about where Keane scored, I remember it was like one of the early games of the season at the I think Highbury actually, and Keane scored 2 goals. He scored 2 goals in that game.
That's the one.
4-2 or something.
Nigeria.
Yeah. Remember that one?
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was in Nigeria at the time, so I remember it.
Oh my gosh! Damn. Mr. B, same question, bro.
It's easy, man. 2011, 2012. That's it.
Oh.
I don't think Vieira was there, mate.
Vieira and Keane were there, though.
You asked me what my favorite game was. I don't care if Vieira was there or
No,
not.
between those two.
Listen. We've had this conversation already, man.
No, we're talking about those two. Those two lock-in. What was the best game?
I don't know. I don't know no scores, because I'm going to be honest, yeah? I can sit here and say, oh, this and all that. I don't know. I don't remember. I hear Canners on a Monday. You lot will talk about games from 1977 like it happened yesterday. And I watched a Man United game. I watched the England game yesterday. I know who scored, but don't ask me what happened in the game. And now you want to ask me about my favorite game. I said 8-2 because that's my favorite game. I don't even remember what year Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira played. And you want me to ask you what the best? I can't tell you, innit? I'm sorry. I can't tell you. You're going to have to go to solo.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
You're being mean.
Solo. Talk to me, bro.
What games, eh? I'm going to sit there and say that for me, one of the most iconic moment, Vieira versus Keane, is going to be in the Tunnel. When Vieira thought he could go and bully Gary Neville. And all of a sudden, Roy Keane heard the story. And Roy Keane turned around and said, why don't you pick on someone your own size? Vieira is 6'2", 6'3". Roy Keane's only 5'11". Roy Keane bad up Vieira in that Tunnel. Vieira was shook. Vieira thought he's going to come in for one.
Do you know why that started, though?
Which part of him that battered up Vieira did you see? Because I didn't see him bad up anyone.
I did on the pitch.
I just heard an Irish man hyping up in the tunnel. That's it.
He got on the pitch.
Vieira looked cool and calm, boy.
Through that tunnel, Vieira was shook. Vieira didn't go nowhere near Keane for the rest of the game.
Not even that.
Get the
That's
DVD.
Not even that.
He was so shook. He scored the opening goal. He was so shook. He scored the opening goal in that game. He was so shook.
No such thing as halfway crook.
He was shook. He was shook like the halfway crew. Trust me. Done. Stilio.
Love that.
I think that put the fire in his belly to get that goal.
It,
but you know,
don't worry about it. It's cool. Carry on. Vieira,
all right,
Keane,
all right.
Let's do
and
this.
You know what? Let's carry. So first and foremost, look, we've got loads of chats in here, and obviously, welcome to a brand new channel, Armoury, the Armoury TV.
Boys.
Please
smash
that subscribe button and the likes. And Mr. K, yeah, PAXTON Road TV, how you doing? I didn't want to say it, but we got it. You know what I mean? Yes. So, listen, Mr. K again. What's that? Big up GunnerKing. Yeah. I have to say, brilliant channel.
Brilliant, boys.
You show, love it. And do you know what? It's garnering more and more interest because obviously right now we're trying to do bits. I think you guys are doing a few. Have you not bought Sancho yet or what? What's going on?
Done deal.
Yes, we have. We've been agreed. 73 million.
Medical.
Breaking news on your channel. You get me?
Don't break that here, bro.
Don't break that. You know what I mean? Easy enough. Listen. Yes, Mr. Modest himself, Mr. Silver Fox, Tactical Commander Gumsa. Yeah. Dancing Nigerian Prince.
Big up.
And he must be talking about Spurs. Too late for us, we're broken. Yep, Spurs are broken, boy.
Don't worry, Canis. I know he's got love for you. Don't worry.
I know, it's all right, man. That's all right. I've got big shoulders. I've got broad shoulders. I can take it. Armoury hosting. Oh, please. And Mr. Solo, Mr. B, two wise men. Boy, what is it? No love for you there, Monday, man. I got love for you, bro. Do you know what I mean?
There he is.
The Morris.
Plug
how
the show.
You know me, guy.
8:30.
Big master.
We'll be back.
Here he is again. You know, everyone's got the royalty on tonight. Listen. We love charity. You know what I mean? We're all about charity. And welcome, guys. That's all I say. You know what I mean? Stick with us. You go far. Yes, here he is, the man, the legend on Monday. Listen,
we got Mr. K. Check out Paxton Road TV. Top channel.
Listen, all you're missing is a Spurs fan. Yeah, we're cool. But maybe one day when we beat your ass again. And James, Man United haven't eaten.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to point out, but that's none of my business.
It's true, boy. It's true.
I was going to make a comment to James about eating under the table, but you know what? I'm going to leave it in here.
Oh, my word. Are we past the watershed yet?
Not yet. We still got
He's about to get me too'd, boy.
30 years.
Woo! Right.
No, Moses went in the wilderness for 40 years. Liverpool went in the wilderness for 30 years by eating on the table. Come on, guys.
So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna come to each and one of us, right? And I'm gonna put cases across, and I'm gonna ask you to put your case across for Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira. Okay, the criteria is like which one's easier on the eye, which in term, or you could say medals, whatever. Put your case across. Be that barrister, be the lawyer. Put your get your man off. You know what I mean? So what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna introduce my man, Patrick Vieira. Yeah, 456 games. 4 years younger than Roy Keane, by the way. Yeah, 4 years younger. 107 international caps. A World Cup winner. Euro Champs winner. 8 league championships in different countries.
No Champions League.
Oh, right.
Right.
No Champions
4
League.
FA Cups, 5 Community Shields, FIFA Confederations Cup as well. Listen, he's an invincible. I mean, listen, have you ever in your life seen a midfielder command, not only physically, but technically? How many times have you seen my man Vieira pop the ball over one man's head and take it on the other side and stride on? Or, those ones where the player's siding and he just dinks it over him and runs on. Yeah. Listen, I mean, if we and I know man's talk about stats and all this and all that, but really and truly, everyone can have a great career, right? But really, who's the better player? Who is the better player? We're talking technically, it's like, I don't think Maradona's won as many accolades as Vieira, but who's the better player? Who would you have in your team? We're talking Maradona or Pele. You know what I mean? They haven't won as many titles or whatever, but when I tell you, when you talk about better players out of Keane and Vieira, on that eye, who's the better player? I rest my case. That's my case. I'm going to go first off, and I'm going to go first blood now. Mr. B, talk to me, bro.
Okay. I will agree. Technically, I feel that Patrick Vieira was a better player. Grace, finesse, class, Patrick Vieira.
Okay.
Leadership, I would say, there probably wasn't too much difference in regards to what they brought to their team as captains.
I agree.
Dirt, Roy Keane. I don't think there can be any argument. Mental strength.
The only thing I would say on that, the only thing I would say in that, actually, oddly enough, Vieira was sent off more times than Keane.
Thank you.
Yeah, down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Roy Keane was smart with his fouls. Patrick Vieira was a bit clueless in what he was doing. So I would say that Roy Keane would beat him on that one.
I just reckon the rest were racist.
His sense on the pitch.
The rest were racist.
This is before Black Lives Matter, bro.
Makes no difference to me. Listen, I will wear sunglasses and say Roy Keane's black in it. I don't business in it. I will say that all day. Leadership. I don't think you could. I look at. I'm going to be honest. I would take Roy Keane over Patrick Vieira just because Roy Keane was a dirty shit. And in midfield in them days, you had to be dirty. So I'm going to take him over the dirts. But in everything else, I don't think you could say, well, I can't say personally that Roy Keane is better than Patrick Vieira or Patrick Vieira. In little things, you might get a 1% or a 2% on Patrick Vieira that you might minus off Roy Keane. But on another thing, you've got, I mean, Roy Keane played for Ireland and he basically, he didn't give a shit about, he's captain of the team and he's gone out there and he has disrespected the whole country. And then he goes he walks down the road walking his dog like a nothing.
Casual.
So, that's 2002. Yeah.
In regards to screws loose, I'm going to give it to Roy Keane. So
Pat has his times as well, boy. I tell you.
It's not. They're just two colossal players, and I'm not going to sit here. I've come on your show, and I wanted to give it the whole Roy Keane. But let's be honest. I can't decide. I can't say Roy Keane is better than Patrick Vieira or Patrick Vieira is better than Roy Keane. What I will say is if I'd supported Arsenal, maybe I would be saying Patrick Vieira, but I can't go past Roy Keane. Everything that he did for United, even when he wasn't playing and the man's getting sent off, he can still inspire the team to be winning games. So mine will always be Roy Keane. Not by much, not by me. It might only be this, but it will always be Roy Keane.
Okay. Let me throw this one into the mix then, right? So you have a player, right, who's 20, 21, goes to another country, is brought on at halftime where team's losing.
Amandi's not
bads up the game, and then straight from there off, a star is born, and that's it. The change in fortunes. He actually changed the fortunes of a club.
You feel that? You really feel? You feel that? Yeah.
Listen. From time a young youth like that comes who can't speak the language, goes to a new country, and absolutely smashes it in his first season, the way he did. I just think that's unprecedented. I don't know many players who have done that. That's something up there that basically, you know, in the psyche of a player, and you've got to take that into account as well. They're both winners, but Roy Keane's never done it in another country. Where's my man? Listen, he's done it in Italy and in England.
Why would Roy Keane have played in another country? He won everything that he needed to win at Old Trafford, so he was never going to go anywhere.
Oh, Mr. B, man. But if you just left that out of it, I would have left you alone, bro. I would have just left you alone. I was like, just let that one slide.
And that was seamlessly move on to Nigerian Englishman. Please talk to me about Vieira. Talk to me about Vieira, Nigerian Englishman.
I'm gonna put that Mr. Beast comment to the side for now.
It's all right, man. All right. On that Hennessy.
Like, I want to just make sure we got the dynamics of what's going on here. Are we talking about player or bigger impact on their clubs? Like,
we could listen, you make your argument, brother.
If we're talking about player, like other than leadership, you can't tell me one thing that Roy Keane is better than Vieira at. Passing, no. Shooting, no. Dribbling, no. Control, no. Like, what you talk like? Speed, no. Like, what's it like? What? Tell me what things like. I can't understand. Heading, maybe. I'm even. That's still debatable. Like, so if we're talking about as a player, then it's not even close. Like Roy Keane, his thing is not even about how much of a player he is. He's a leader. Don't get me wrong. He'd take the game by the scruff of the neck, like get stuck in a tackle. He's not playing no games. My guy like held a grudge for what? How many years? And then broke up Haaland and said, "What? What are you saying now? You were laughing."
And now that's why you can't get Haaland at your club because of that.
Probably. Like the guy is a hothead. But if we're talking about player, Vieira was a different class when it compared to Keane. I remember when we were you guys were talking about which games were between Vieira and Keane. I think Keane was playing this game. The first game that Vieira really announced himself for me was when he scored in that Man U game where we won 3-2. 3-2 at Highbury.
97.
Like,
97.
That was when obviously I liked Vieira. It was like someone that I was very excited about. But that game, like the way he was up and down and everywhere in that game, it was madness. And then he capped it off with a goal as well. So like, and it was a hell of a goal as well. And then
got injured in that game as well. But yeah,
celebration.
And then the next game that really stood out for me was when we played them the following season. The first game at Highbury, we won 3-0, where he bossed the whole game. Like 90 minutes. Keane was there, but it was like Keane wasn't there.
He was there.
So, like he was there, but he was nowhere to be seen, man. He dominated the game to the point where man like Freddie Ljungberg scoring on his debut, little dinks and that. But anyway, but like there's levels to this shit. This guy, like Keane, could not have done Keane at Juventus or at Barcelona or at Real. Vieira could. Anywhere, any big club you put him, he's doing that same madness. Same madness. And you could even when Keane went to Celtic, bro, I don't even call that a move because he was a joke then. Yeah. Vieira from all the way up to when did he stop playing? 33?
Man City, I think. Man City was his last club, I believe.
And he was still doing bits.
Yeah.
Like as soon as Keane was like losing his fitness, what else is he bringing? If he's not got his engine, Keane's finished, bro. Vieira can still take on a man, control, dink it over another man's head, hit a 30-yard screamer.
He's like Tony Daly with no pace.
Someone's legs, like come on. We're talking about eye test here. Like I'm on my channel, we talked about a debate. Who's the best African players in the Premier League? So we had a massive debate about Drogba versus Okocha. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Drogba's won more in the Premier League than Okocha. But eye test wise, how can you tell me anyone is better than JJ?
No,
you're mad. Mad. It can't happen. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like Keane is a great player, baller, a hell of a captain as well. Where we're talking about player football, like you can't. I can't pick Vieira like Keane over Vieira. I can't do it.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry.
You rest your case, bro.
That's it. And then this, and then to close, this thing about he didn't have to leave because he won everything at United. That's just a cop out, man.
Yeah,
he knew he was in his comfort zone. He stayed in his comfort zone. That's all it is, man.
You know why I respect Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, so much? Because he's done what he's done in
that's why he'll always be better than Messi for me.
Do you know what?
He'll always be better than Messi for me.
I understand what he's saying.
No, hold on. Let me get my point out.
I understand what he's saying.
Look, as a footballer, in terms of a football player, Messi's a better footballer. But in terms of, I'm always gonna back Ronaldo over Messi because the guy played out of his comfort zone.
This ain't the right show for that talk. This ain't the right show for
Gunner,
that
we'll do that. We'll do that another time.
Do that in private, boy. Do that on one touch. Don't bring that up.
Yeah. You're right. This is a Man U. This is a Man U Arsenal
Silver Fox has left.
segment.
Silver Fox has left the chat. Yeah.
Don't give these boys no more.
The man that has voted status here is getting slandered. He couldn't even bear to hear it no more.
I'm not interested.
He's left, isn't he? He's gone, isn't he? Silver Fox has just said,
when's Rob Holding coming in this?
Proper boy. Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, just
I rest my case though.
In this new modern football, we'll never have players like Roy Keane again. Red card in first 10 minutes. I mean, it's true. It just doesn't happen anymore. There's no players. I don't know. We can eulogize about certain players and stuff. And
but to be honest, GunnerKing wouldn't take Keane or Vieira right now at all, bro, because they're too physical and bad discipline record.
Yeah,
apparently.
You can be physical and not have a bad discipline record.
but they did have one. That's the thing. But they actually did have one. So
Kante and Pogba are pretty physical and they've got exemplary disciplinary records. So you wouldn't like a Vieira or Keane? Is that what you're saying? You wouldn't like a Vieira or Keane right now in your team?
I don't think anyone of those players.
Anyway, it's another segment. Sorry, Vieira versus Keane. Sorry.
Yes. So, thank you, Mr. Nigerian Englishman. On Monday, Juma.
All right.
I want you to tell me about Roy Keane because I know it's going to be about Roy Keane, right?
Yeah, I'm going to start and just say Roy Keane's a better player. I've heard a lot of stats here about ability on the ball, flicking balls over the head.
Please.
For me, a better player is who's more effective. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick one. Zico and Zidane. I like Zico over Zidane because he's more effective. Goals. Look at his goal record for Brazil. Look at his effectiveness, his assists, and all that kind of thing. Top goal scorer from a midfielder, probably ever. One of the best players. But no one talks about him. Anyway, let's move on. Keane, 7 Prems, 4 FA Cups, 1 Champions League. Okay, let me just take you back. He plays for Ireland, yeah, a bit like George Best or Wales. Gareth Bale plays for Wales. He plays for Ireland. In '94, they went to USA. They beat Italy, who went up to get to the final. 1-0 in the Yankee Stadium. Roy Keane played all 3 group stage games. Okay, with an aging. Hold on. I didn't interrupt you. With an aging Irish squad, got to the next round, lost to Holland, but took them all the way, and he was voted Ireland's player of the tournament. '98, he was injured because he broke up his leg. Okay, 2002, he dragged. Guess who's in their group? Portugal in 2002 for the World Cup. In their group to qualify for the World Cup, Portugal and Holland were in the group. They beat Holland at Lansdowne Road, and Keane played every single game and dragged Ireland to the finals. Now, forget what happened. It shouldn't even be come into it because we talk about best players, whatever happened with Mick McCarthy. But that's about the standards that he demands. Okay. Now, I want to compare that international because we all know about what happened in the Prem. This is why I rate Vieira. In '98, he didn't play. Came on in the final and scored a goal when Brazil was sort of like pushing. They were 2-0 down, and so he set up the team. So he didn't really play much. Mind you, just 2 things quickly. He played for the best ever Arsenal side in the best era for Arsenal, and he also played in the best ever French side. Forget '84. Forget what we're seeing now.
Well, he played in your best ever era, right?
Hold on. I'm talking about Patrick Vieira played in the best ever French era, which is they won the European Championship and the World Cup. No, I don't know if there's any debate about that, but I believe that's the best ever. And you look at the players around him as well. So in '98, he didn't really play much, like a bit like Armoury, didn't play much. They didn't need to. But
how many games did he play?
I'm looking. He played in the final. He had a few cameos in '98 as well, but didn't have that impact because Deschamps was keeping him out, and
he played a good amount of minutes.
Was he about 21, 22 then?
Yeah. Regardless, let's move on to something more impressive. I'm just gonna move on. This is the greatest era: Zidane, Deschamps, all these great players.
He was young.
Can I ask you one question?
No, because I'm trying to deliver my
statement. Sorry.
The jury don't interrupt. The judge will be saying, "Get this man out of court right now." You know,
he's trying to object.
Yes, no objection. Okay.
Forgive me.
Thank you. 2000, they win the tournament. Granted, he played near enough every game. He was fantastic. Okay, but playing in the best era of French football. 2002, they get to the group stage. Senegal beat them.
Hold on. How long's this era? You said the same best era about 3 times. How long's this era?
The French era.
98 is the best era. 2000 is the best era.
What? How players play for 10, 15 years, don't they? So from 98 to 2006.
But which era? Because Deschamps and Zidane didn't play in that second lot. So I just want to clarify which was the best era.
Now you're twisting me up. Now you're trying to twist me up. I see what you're doing, Gumsa. Now why do they call it?
I'm sorry. Let me go back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll mute myself.
Get him.
Please do.
Get him.
All right. So this is with Vieira now, with his era, his players. Deschamps gone. 2002, Senegal beat him. Is he from Senegal?
Yeah.
Anyway, they didn't qualify from their group as world champions or European champions. 2004, in the Euros, they got beaten by Greece. This is Vieira, yeah? And they got to the final. He played well in 2006 and got to the final. Obviously, they didn't win it. So I think Vieira deserves props for his international football, but playing for the best ever Arsenal side and playing for the best ever French side compared to what Keane did, there's no comparison. And as for players, let me just finish off by saying, as for players, it's all about effectiveness. And I think Keane has been far more effective than Vieira. If we look up, like Miss Canners gave us a question at the beginning about the best game, and I delivered it. There's been a couple of games where Keane has come to Highbury and dominated him. Okay? Now, one more thing. I heard someone say Vieira was bossing games at Highbury, going up and down. But from last measurements I made, Highbury's not bigger than a goal 70-side pitch. So that's not very impressive to me. Okay? So last thing I'm going to say, respect to Vieira. Really love him. He made Keane raise his game. But Keane is more effective. Therefore, he's a better player. He's won more and dragged youth academy boys through and took them to the final. And one more thing. No, last thing. Let's talk about this. Dortmund, 97. Okay? He was suspended for the second leg and we lost. We went out. Got to the final in 99, but we played against Juve, who I can't think of a better Juve side to this date. We were midfield of Conte. No one can. Can't be midfield of Conte, Zidane, Deschamps, and Davids, and he dominated that game with some Nicky Butts and academy boys around him. Dominated the game. Go and check the
Paul Scholes dominated that game.
Okay, Paul Scholes was
Gorgon.
Okay, all right. I'll give you that. And so these are the reasons why I think Keane is a better player, because he's more effective and he's delivered. That's what I'm saying. Flicking balls over heads. Look, this is what they play. These youths today, they love to do step overs and all this kind of thing. I just drop a shoulder. You do this just as effective. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean I can't do a step over, but you're a better player. So Keane is a better player, but it's a good debate, and I respect what all of you guys are saying about Vieira, but I'm sorry, it just doesn't make it in my book.
Thank you very much, Mr.
No, quickly.
That was a very compelling argument. Very compelling. But I would just like to ask you one thing. Has Keane ever won the championship at Highbury or the Emirates?
At Highbury or Emirates?
Yeah.
I don't have to check the fixture list. We play debut in December.
We're talking about winning the league in the heart of our stadium.
Yeah.
Lifting the league title up.
Yeah.
Getting your hand on the double ears. Coming to your home. And stealing it from right in front of your face and saying, thank you.
That's 7 Premiership titles. I'll answer that for you.
No. I'm just asking if Roy Keane has done that to Vieira. Come to his house. Come to his house, his back garden.
Yeah.
And won the game, not just drawn the game, because they only had to draw to win the championship.
Right. You asked the question. The answer is obviously no. The answer is obviously no, isn't it?
Oh, no, I'm asking you. So
take a quarter point off me and take that, if that's what it means to you. Everyone in the world, listen, this is the Armoury. This is what they're pushing for.
No, I have a question. No. Honestly, I have a question. Just making sure, because obviously I've been at the bar today, had a couple cocktails, so I could have heard this one wrong, innit?
Okay.
I just want to make sure everyone in the panel, asking you a question, did Omondi really use the fact that Roy Keane has won Irish Player of the Year as one of his accolades? Like, as one of his accolades? Like, for real? Like legit, you use that in the argument. Irish Player of the Year,
Can I give a massive shout out to our Irish viewership?
Judge
I would like to give a shout out to our Irish viewership.
Judge Canners.
No disrespect.
Put that in there.
Judge Canners, can I please just respond before I retire?
Sorry.
He doesn't want the answer. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
please.
I said, if you listen carefully, I was talking about the 1994 World Cup when Ireland were underdogs. They beat Italy. Okay, they qualified from the group. They lost to Holland in the next round. He was named the best player of that side as a youngster. 94. Guess how old he was? 21. And I heard someone talking about he was very young. Well, maybe 21. He was very young,
bro.
Well, that had those heavy hitters like Andy Townsend.
Come on, do the pound for pound. Get some yams and weigh them up.
True say he had to fight against like Staunton and them man there.
And who are they?
And
who are they?
Ray Houghton and them man there.
And Andy Townsend. Come on,
that's hard.
Weigh it up. Weigh it up.
Okay, we'll give you that. Ireland Player of the Year.
I'm done anyway. I'm talking too much. I want to hear what you guys got to say.
No, thank you, Mr. Omondi Juma. Very compelling. I'd like to now bring to the next man to the stage.
The doc.
To the doc, Mr. GunnerKing.
Yes.
Get him, Gunner.
Okay, so a few things I want to do first, right? Amondi, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, your opening statement involved listing Roy Keane's achievements in a trophy sense. Well, I mean, I could say to you like this: do you know who Stelios Giannakopoulos is?
Yes,
because I was having a debate with someone the other day about Messi and Ronaldo, and the thing that a lot of Ronaldo fans say is Messi hasn't achieved anything on the international stage. So, I mean, Stelios Giannakopoulos, I can't say his second name. Right? He won a European Championship in 2004 with Greece, playing for Bolton, right? So by that logic, if I was to take it in its strict sense, he would be a better player than Messi.
No one agrees with you. Nobody.
I'm not. To bring it back to this argument, right? I'm not trying to take away from what Roy Keane achieved as a player at Manchester United in terms of trophies, but obviously, you know, he was there longer. I believe he played 60 more games, which is nearly 2 seasons. And also, I mean, what you said about Vieira coming into the dominant Arsenal side, he didn't. He made it dominant. But let's be clear, the year that he came, I mean, you know, I mean, if you want to talk about dominant, right? United were the dominant force when Vieira came to England. That is a fact.
Monday, how many titles we would win in before them seasons that we were supposedly dominant that Vieira had walked into.
So this is my point, right? I mean, you know, obviously I don't need to give you a history lesson on your club. You know, just before the Premier League era started that year, you know, Fergie's famously interviewed, or 2 years, I think it was. I always get the dates mixed up. Is, you know, his famous first interview, I've come to knock Liverpool off their effing perch. And he does that. And his reign over the Premier League is supreme after that, right? And Roy Keane was a focal part of that. So what Canna said about coming into the backyard and lifting the trophy is almost like a microcosm of what Vieira did and Wenger did, you know, because they came into a hostile environment which you were dominating, not us. Yeah, you were the dominant English force, right? And when Vieira came and Arsene Wenger, not just Vieira personally, but obviously if he's the captain, he's the driving force behind that team in making them dominant. He ended it, you know, like they ended it for a period, and no one else. Many tried before that and failed, right? And to take what you said as well about the trophies,
Blackburn
what Keane won and everything.
Blackburn won the title. Sorry, I'm
not. They won it once. They won it once.
So they did end the reign.
No, they didn't really end it because
make your point. I'm sorry.
Because I mean, like United fans are always saying, you know, that Liverpool, after 30 years waiting for the trophy, won it once and then couldn't defend it again. Everyone's talking about them being the worst defending champions. So, I mean, that applies to Blackburn, right? So the fact of the matter is you continue being dominant after that one blip of that season. And Vieira, quite frankly, put a stop to that for a time. in a way that no one else could. And we're not talking about a one season like Blackburn. We're talking like a period where literally we were the nemesis. You know, like we did doubles, we went invincible. He was a driving force behind that, right? But the thing is as well, what you've got to consider is what he had to work with in terms of his tools. And with the greatest respect to my players and my team and my manager, right? If you want to sit here and tell me that Sir Alex Ferguson is not GOATed status manager of the Premier League era, he clearly is. I will concede that much, because I would be a fool not to. Yeah. So he's working under the stewardship of the GOATed manager of the Premier League era, right? And in terms of what you were working with, like the players, right? That you had not only that successful period, the 92 class came, they were bedded in. So it was a well-oiled machine by the time that Vieira came in. Those guys had matured. Those guys had developed. Those guys were peaking, right? And none of that mattered when Vieira turned up, quite frankly, for a time. Vieira was just like, I don't give a damn who you are. I can't even speak the language, quite frankly. Like, I don't even know, like, you know, literally, you know, Keane's career started at lower league teams in England. So he had that acclimatizing period and could speak that language, inherently knew the culture and the way of English football, right? All of these things that Vieira had to learn on the cuff. And in the process of doing so, topple the dominant force in English football. And what you said about Vieira playing for the most dominant French team and the most dominant Arsenal team, there's a difference, because he created the dominance in both. He was part of an integral part of making those teams dominant, right? So furthering that as well, in terms of what he achieved in the sport, you know, sort of in his time at being at Arsenal, he really kind of changed the way that these kind of central midfielders played. You know, like Roy Keane, obviously, Mr. B pointed out that he was kind of dirty, you know, kind of hatchet, did the dirty stuff that other players didn't have to. Vieira brought elegance to that central midfield role. You know, like he changed. We're talking about a stylistic way in which modern day central midfielders have played since. You know, your Kantes and these guys, you know, like probably look back, you know, to that's the period where that started, where it was like a central midfield enforcer didn't just have to be an enforcer anymore. He could be technical.
That's why you never hear anyone saying
he could.
GunnerKing's point. That's why you never hear anyone saying this guy's gonna be the next Roy Keane, because them players don't exist, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, he really changed the way in which that midfield role was played. And what you said about Vieira obviously coming into a dominant France and a dominant Arsenal, well, I mean, quite frankly, you know, in terms of it doesn't get more dominant than Sir Alex Ferguson's reign at United. So, I mean, I could literally just flip what he said back onto its head.
Yeah, I can.
You can argue with that because... Oh, go on, carry on.
In terms of what Fergie achieved, and you know, like throughout his time at United, that dominance demonstrates that obviously you're working with the best manager. And
right. Hold on a minute.
Wenger and Vieira had very little time.
Repeating the same point over and over again 3-4 times doesn't make it right. Come with something that I can say, yeah. I'm not agreeing with you.
No.
By repeating it, I just let my case.
What I'm
trying to say, right,
over again.
Right. What I'm trying to say is that was probably one of United's like initial dominant periods. You know, like everything else after came from. Yeah. So,
This is the 4th time repeating the same point.
Yeah,
so you're saying that's what makes you basically.
But he has to drum it home to you, mans. Because you might are hard for hearing.
Monday.
It's simple, right? Like no one could stop what happened, what United were doing to the league until Vieira came.
Yeah.
You know, like until
Did you
Wenger
have a good base? Did you have a good base before that?
No, wait. On Monday.
But where did that base get us?
Did you have the best back five? A good base there, a foundation.
Where did it go?
Hold on.
We had an aging back five. We had an aging back five.
Give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds, yeah?
Go ahead.
We had a good base, okay? And what happened is you got a Wenger in who knew about the French academy and knew who to pick off, Anelka, Vieira, Petit, everything else. It's like playing a game of Championship Manager. He brought the best players in from France, and it's not like, oh, he's coming to England, he's all alone, doesn't speak the language. He's got Petit there. He's got all these French.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this.
Is that not a gamble? Is that a gamble? To bring in foreigners, to bring in young kids.
When you bring in young players, you know exactly who's going to be great, and you bring them straight in. And what happened after that? It lasted for 5 to 10 years, and after that, then he was struggling because he took a gamble. They took a gamble and said, right, I know. Listen, guys, I've worked with these players like Gerald Houllier. He said, we've worked with these players. I know who to get in and slip them in, and then we can get the best players. Armoury, Anelka, Vieira, Petit, all these French players that he knew. From Ding, he just brought him in and he was being successful. Congratulations! But you didn't win no Champions League, did you? Anyway,
I have a question.
But as I said, let me finish, right? Because I hadn't finished, right? So I mean,
I said, please finish your argument.
Yeah. So in terms of what he had to work with the players around him, like it took a while. For the quality to be up to scratch, and you had to drive that. And in terms of what United were working with, they were the dominant spending force, the dominant economic power in the league as well, which made it resonated throughout your playing squad. Yeah. So Vieira's come in, and a lot of these names were not household names. They weren't. They really weren't. And it was Vieira that galvanized all of these guys. You talk about the base and the back five being there. Vieira was the one that took them to that next level. That solid base needed Vieira. It needed Vieira, for everything kind of starting and ending with him. He would win the ball. He was the conduit between the midfield and the attack and the defense. So, yeah, for me as well, when you're looking at their career, creatively speaking, he only got 1 less assist and he played 20, 30 less games. 59 less games. And he only got 1 less assist. He only got 7 or 8 less goals. 8 less goals. Considering he played 60 less games. This really does attest to the technical deficiency that Keane has when you're comparing him to Vieira. I'm not saying technically he's a bad player. But I'm saying if you could play 60 more games and also be an all-action midfielder and only get 8 more goals and 1 assist, I mean, that clearly shows that ability-wise, from an attacking sense as well, which was a bonus for these 2 players because they're mostly kind of put there to be defensive and shore up the defensive line and all that. I mean, that just really kind of shows that in a footballing sense, like with the ball at their feet, technical abilities and goal threat, Vieira was clearly much more of that. And I mean, the last thing I want to close on is just in terms of, what Patrick Vieira did for, I think for Wenger, what he really provided was he helped Wenger settle into the English league as well, because he had that guy that he could kind of go to, I think, I really don't think Wenger's era could have been as successful without him. In a way that Roy Keane's or United's could have been successful without Roy Keane, so to say.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, Mr.
Can I get 20 seconds real quick? 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask 2 questions. First of all, for you to be considered a dominant team, surely you would have had to win something first to qualify as dominant. Before Vieira came to Arsenal, how many league titles did we win? So how can he be coming into a dominant team? What did we dominate? 5th and 6th position. I don't understand. And also the World Cup. Hold on. Then also the World Cup. I don't know how many even finals France had been in before they won that France 98. So how is he coming into a dominant France team? He made these teams dominant. He was part of the puzzle.
In
It wasn't
98.
that he came.
No, but he
into
wasn't a
dominant
part. He
team.
was the centerpiece.
The
He was the
centerpiece.
centerpiece.
I'm
98.
underselling him.
The most
In
important
98.
player.
In
What?
98.
What?
You
What
said the
about it?
World Cup. So in 98, you're saying he was the centerpiece.
No,
Yeah, I'm
guys,
not
I would say
talking
from
about that. I'm talking
99
about
onwards. From 99
Oh, so not the
onwards.
World Cup then, just in international football and tournaments. Not the World Cup. They didn't win a World Cup after that with Vieira.
No,
So
but you
just-
said
so
Vieira
not- you said-
played for the
you just
most
said 98.
dominant France
You said in the
side
World Cup.
in history. But when he came into that side, they weren't dominant though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they
So
weren't
because
dominant.
of his contribution, he made them more dominant, and that's why they
As
were
well
able
as
to
who?
dominate for 3 years because of
How many
Vieira's
Hall of Fame
contribution.
players are in that era from 2098 to
Okay,
2000?
okay.
How many
Without
Hall of Fame
I
players?
hear you, but
I can
without
name 22.
Vieira, they're not on that list. Without Vieira, they're not winning those trophies. What? I'm saying it with chest. Without Vieira, they're not winning those.
Love
yes.
that. Love that.
No,
Love
they're not
that.
winning those. So he
The
made them
French have
dominant.
a talent pool which is
Look.
unbelievable. And that was their prime. That
Look,
was their
I want to say here, James White.
Let me just one sentence.
I want to hear Solo.
When he came to England,
I want to hear
when he came to England, one sentence. When he came to England, Cannons, one sentence, Cannons. When he came to England, United were the dominant force. When he went to France, Brazil were the dominant international force. These are the facts.
You won it at home tournament. You won it at home in France.
Which they went into as not favourites. Brazil were favourites for the
How
final.
many home nation teams do well at home? Especially teams like France, who are very good. With Zidane,
Right?
who's
Don't
world player of
change
the
the
year.
narrative about especially teams like
Russia
France.
didn't do well.
You tell me. We've had
tell you,
Euro
didn't do well.
96.
Argentina 78. Argentina 78. You got
Euro
England
96.
86.
Spain in
Euro
86.
86.
Did we win
Hey,
Euro
Spain got to
96?
the
They got to the
86.
semi-final.
No, we didn't win then. Yeah?
86. Didn't do nothing.
All right, I'm reeling off teams that have done really well. Mexico in '86 done really well. Going to 1990, Italy got to the semi-final.
South Africa didn't even get out of their group, and they hosted the whole thing.
There we go. Here we go.
Oh, wait, don't just say teams to suit your narrative, Amondi. Say everyone.
I'm
Say
talking
the
about
bad ones. Why are you
there's
telling
only
me about the
8
positive ones? I don't need to hear
Nigerian
them.
Englishman. There's only 8 teams that ever won the World Cup. Okay. All right. And there's,
Brazil didn't win it.
And there's
on
10.
home patch.
Sorry.
Brazil didn't win it on home patch.
Yeah, but they won it in South America. How many European teams have won it in South America? They
Bruv,
won in
stop
Germany.
changing the narrative. What is it?
No,
Home
we're
country
talking about-
or continent? Is it continent or country? Which one now? Oh yeah, tell me.
All right. I want to hear from Solo. Oh, Solo's disappeared. I want to hear.
He's left you, man. He's had enough. He's left you, man.
You lot are just chatting waffle here. I'm not part of this.
Listen,
I want to hear what Gumsa has to say.
You know, that's true. It's true. But James Wright, I just want to get into a chat here. James Wright, playing ability, Vieira over Keane, and achieve more Keane over Vieira. I've got you could.
That's an interesting one.
The achieve more.
Sorry. Can I make one
comparable?
point? Can I make one point, please? This is the misconception that people have. Graham Souness, Trev, you're old enough to remember. Graham Souness was one of the most cultured players in Europe in midfield. Everyone talks about him kicking people, studding people, and all that kind of thing. Yes, he did that, but he was also one of the most cultured players in midfield. Ask Platini. Ask anyone who came up against him in Europe. You know, and the same applies for Keane. Cannons wants to agree. Cannons
like, I'm gonna have to ask my dad them stats there because boy, I don't know about.
Graham Souness was one of the most cultured players, midfielders that we've seen.
Well, I will confess, Souness could play, but he was also he was nasty. He was a nasty piece of work. He was, but he could play. Listen, Souness though, he played in Italy. So yeah, he's a baller. He's a baller.
Even though he won everything he could at Liverpool, he still went to Italy.
Yeah. That's what I said. There you go. Why would he go? He was in the most dominant domestic team ever.
Canners, you said Vieira won 8 league titles, right?
Yeah. No. How many Premiership titles did he
win? But that's just so you know, that's after getting 2 taken away from him at Juventus, by the way. So he actually won 10 league titles, but 2 were taken away from him. Well, anyway.
Wait, no. You're gonna have to
corruption, because there was some scandal in Italy about Juventus or something.
So they got relegated, didn't they? So did Ben Johnson win the 1988 Seoul Olympics?
But I never said he won 10.
Did Ben Johnson win?
I just said he won 8.
Did
I just said
Flojo?
he won 8 after 2 were taken away from him. I
Flojo
never
did,
said he won 10. I
Oh,
just said
really?
he
You
won
believe
8
that one?
after-
You believe Flojo won?
I don't.
Nah, Flojo didn't win that, boy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Flojo did win.
But yeah, so Solo, you left us.
So-
What on, brother? What are you saying
Solo,
about Keane?
what happened? I know them men were talking fraff, but you left and you come back. So you powdered your nose and you wiped your brow.
Went to
We'll come
check
to you
Google
now,
real quick.
bro.
White brow. I don't need to white brow. All I could hear is Google, Gaga, Gaga, Google from. Listen,
He went to check Google. That's what it was.
listen, yeah. I'm gonna
Please,
kick off because
step to the
it's
top.
bamboos. It's getting to me because I'm just sitting there thinking. All I'm hearing is Vieira this, Vieira could play ball, Vieira could do this, Vieira could do that. Roy Keane before I even go into about Roy Keane, let me just explain to you. Roy Keane single-handedly dragged Manchester United to the Champions League final where we went and we won that league. We won it.
Was it 1 against 11? Yeah.
Single-handedly done it, yeah? Single-handedly done it. Vieira,
No Schmeichel, none of them, man. There.
So let's
Goals,
see now.
none of
We're
them,
talking
man.
about. I'm just going to reel some stuff off. What I'm listening to, and I'm thinking, but you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself there.
Please,
but that doesn't make no sense. What you're saying.
Please, go on.
So we're talking about household names. Apparently, Arsenal had no household name. Did anyone heard of Nicky Butt? Did anyone who David Beckham?
Well, we
was?
heard about the class of '92.
No. Wait for it. That's what I'm trying to explain. You heard about the class of '92, but did anyone know who Nicky Butt was? Did anyone know who Gary Neville was? Did anyone know who Phil Neville was? Does anyone even know who Lee Sharp was? Yeah,
are those the only players
so
he were playing with?
apparently, Vieira come in to an Arsenal team that there was no household names at all, and dragged them and made them so dominant. Yeah.
Ola, don't change the wording to suit your narrative. No one said household name.
No. I'm not changing. I'm listen.
Who said household name here?
The whole point, Solo, yeah,
Did you say household name?
No. I'm going through the motion. What you guys are
Mr. Nigerian Englishman, please. Thank you.
I'm going through the motion. Listen. I've written down 4 pages of stuff that you guys been babbling on about. Yeah. So I'm only taking bullet points and hitting you guys back with bullet points. Yeah.
Shoot them up the bullets.
So
no
we're talking about a Roy Keane who apparently someone said, oh, Patrick Vieira was playing and scoring goals at what age? 34, 35. Roy Keane had a hit replacement at age 30 and still won the Premier League. Yeah? Roy Keane, I'm hearing, Roy Keane.
How many games did he play in that season?
Wait. I'm hearing Roy Keane come from, he played in a few non-leagues. He did. Roy Keane came from Cork. Do you anyone know where Cork is? He came from Cork to Nottingham Forest. Yeah? The legendary, yeah.
Okay. So he went to an English club before he went to United, right? That was my point. He went to an English club before he went to United.
He came from Cork.
Yeah, that grounding.
He came from Cork.
He came from Nottingham Forest.
Let the man speak.
Yeah?
I'm just saying,
So he went from there. Yeah. So he went from Nottingham Forest to Manchester United. Yeah. He was the difference maker when he came to Manchester United. Yeah. People are saying, but he didn't go to like a foreign club. He didn't do this, he didn't do that. He had the opportunity for signing for Inter Milan. But what did he say? His quote was, Manchester United is the biggest club in world football. Why would I want to go and play for a secondary club?
Why did Souness leave Liverpool when they were all conquering? When they were
why did he do it? Wait.
Let
me say something. Are we talking about Brian Souness? Are we talking about Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira?
I'm just asking about a player.
No. I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question because at the moment, all I'm hearing people is saying is they're going back, but this player that, but that player that, but that. No, we're talking about Roy Keane versus Patrick Vieira right now. We're not talking about other teams or players.
But you could definitely draw context from other
I'm
players.
only telling you about Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira. Yeah. Now, let me go more deeper into it. I rate both of them as probably players, iconic players that we will never, ever, ever see again in our lifetime. Yeah. Never. Fact. End of. Yeah. We're sitting there saying, but Patrick Vieira could knock a ball over a player and then make the football look elegant. But Roy Keane was dirty. No, it's not. The fact is, they're two different kind of players. Yeah, Patrick Vieira had good ball control. Roy Keane didn't have great ball control.
Yes, he did.
But the difference between Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira, every season, you know that Roy Keane's going to get you 15 points before the season even kicked off. And that's because of leadership, yeah? So when it comes to both players, I can't sit there to you and say to you, oh, Patrick Vieira is better than Roy Keane is better than Patrick Vieira. The only thing I would bring to this argument is Roy Keane was a little bit better as a leader. But I couldn't sit there and say, right, I'm going to pick Roy Keane over this, I'm going to pick Patrick Vieira over that. No, as a leader, and when it comes to football, I'm only going to sit there and say, I'll pick Roy Keane as a leader. But both players was fantastic players, absolute world-class players in their day. That's
Mr.
my
Sola,
statement.
Can
That's
I
my
ask
argument.
you then a quick question? You have an open checkbook, you're a manager, and your chairman comes to you and says, look, you can buy one of these players.
I'm buying Roy Keane because he's a leader. I'm buying Roy Keane because he's a leader. He's a leader. That's all I'm saying. He's a leader. Okay. That's it. But when it comes to both players as combination, I would not separate both players on the football pitch. Apart from, I know Roy Keane can win you about 15 points in the season. That's it.
So as a manager, given chance to sign both players, but you can only sign one, you would buy Roy Keane.
Just because of the fact of a leader. But when it comes to footballing and these guys are colossal players. They are absolutely immense. They are great players.
Love that.
And for me, like I said, everyone's sitting there, and I think what the problem is, and I think Monday use it all the time, is football fans are tribal. They're not looking at sort of the bigger picture. What they're looking at, oh, well, is my team, is that team. We're talking about Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, but we're talking about Zidane. We're talking about other players. We're talking about, you know, people are talking about unknown players. We look at who heard of Cristiano Ronaldo before in their life? Yeah? No one has. He came to Man United, and with Roy Keane guidance, he's probably, like we said, he could carry.
Keane's guidance, he said.
No, but listen, he's a leader.
Not Ferguson, Roy Keane, yeah?
Is Roy Keane the leader? Is Roy Keane the leader?
Who does he talk about was his leader? Ferguson, not Keane. He doesn't mention Keane.
Okay, so wait. So wait. One more bullet point. Let me turn the page about leadership, yeah? Wait.
Shoot him.
So we're talking about Alex Ferguson, yeah? And we're talking about leadership, yeah? Did I hear someone correctly said that with Patrick Vieira took you guys up to another notch, and he basically made Arsene Wenger settle in, yeah? Is it Arsene Wenger as the manager, or was it Patrick Vieira?
What the point I'm making is, yeah.
No, I'm asking a question because I'm getting told.
Yeah, and I'm trying to answer it. I'm trying to answer it, bro.
Everyone regurgitating what is going on.
Please let him
retort. To the fact because I've listened and I've heard every single one's argument.
You want me to answer it? Or?
Go on. Answer it, GunnerKing. Let me give you respect and I'll answer it. Go on, hit me up.
My point is, yeah, like obviously Arsene Wenger, unlike Alex Ferguson, Scotland is just separated by Hadrian's Wall. Yeah, so the cultures are similar. They have shared histories. Yeah, so when you're coming from the Scottish league to the English one, yeah, there are some nuances. There's some differences.
No, different sport.
Well, please.
No, let GunnerKing finish. Let him finish.
You speak the same language, right? You have some very similar practices, but ultimately, right, coming from Scotland to England, when both of the languages are English, compared to coming to from France or Japan, because he came from Grampus, obviously being French, the English culture, the English way of life it's not. There are a lot more differences between the way football's been played in France and the way football's been played in Scotland. It still exists to this day. Yeah. So the point that I was making is Vieira was kind of the bedrock that helped him kind of unlock that and understand how that works, like the nuances, because he had the physicality where he could mix it up with the how much more physical and how much more intense the English league is compared to other ones. So
Christopher King, is Vieira's game suited to the Premiership?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Let me go to GunnerKing now, and let's talk about this whole. People talking about Vieira apparently coming to a new country, doesn't speak. Please, I beg you. I knew this argument was going to come up today, and I actually Googled when Vieira first signed for Arsenal. And please go back and listen to his interview. The guy spoke perfect English. He spoke perfect English. So when you
Play
say he's
it to
coming
us in
from
the
new
background, in
country,
the voice note.
he's coming from new country, and he doesn't speak no English. He did speak English. He did speak
Okay, so
English.
let me correct that then. Let me correct that then. Yeah.
No,
Then,
wait, hold on. No,
then
King, please.
English
address
wasn't
the
his
English
first
part,
language,
please.
right? Whereas Roy Keane's first language is inherently English.
Yeah,
So
what
there's
we're
a difference
talking
there,
about,
right?
but this is the thing.
Okay.
Point I'm getting at, Gunners King. Yeah, my point I'm
Yeah.
getting at. Yeah, we're talking about Roy Keane and Vieira. Yeah, we've gone through and we're talking about a history lesson about languages when we're talking about football on the pitch.
You don't think that communication in a midfield role for a leader, the ability to communicate with their teammates matters? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
No,
like,
but already
make that make sense to me,
French.
please.
But wait. But in the team, they had French players within the team. Patrick Vieira spoke English.
No, they didn't.
He spoke
They
English.
So
they didn't.
Just
I
to
think
go,
they
just to
had
go off.
Remy Gard. I think they had maybe 1 or 2 French players in the squad.
And then Amondi spoke about the spine that we inherited, and they were all English speaking, and they were all English.
Could Dennis Bergkamp speak? How many
Dennis
languages can
Bergkamp
Dennis Bergkamp speak?
He can speak a number of languages.
I have a
8
question
different
for you,
languages.
Solo.
8 different languages, and that one of them was French. Yeah.
Can I?
And none of them languages can book a plane ticket.
I just want to go back to that. Solo,
Because the thing is,
Can
for
I
me,
just
yeah,
come back?
guys, the argument is a great debate, yeah. But for me, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing a lot of narrative. People are making things suit their narrative. I look at these players and I look at both players, and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to say all the time, over and over again. I watched a documentary the other day with Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira. And they were talking about them being the best midfield and like Patrick Vieira was saying, I'll pick you over any day over the week or whatever with it. And I'm looking at both colossal players and I'm just thinking, I will never in my lifetime see 2 players like that. So I could never, ever, ever pick a player who could fill any of your boots or even lace your boots, let alone go and get polished and leave and clean your boots. Because they were that great.
Solo.
Mr. Nigerian.
Quickly, first of all, when did Man United win their first Premier League title?
92, 93.
When did Keane arrive at United?
92, 93.
No, 93. Not 92, 93.
That season,
after they'd already won the championship, no?
So we're gonna have to go and check. I don't.
No, I'm letting you know. He came after Man U already had one.
We should set up our own quiz.
He came into a championship. He came into a championship winning side versus Vieira going into a team that had not won the league for how many years?
So can I ask you a question?
Wait, can I just ask another question on top of that? After that, yeah. Wait.
Hold on. Let me just finish.
One question. I beg you, one question, right? Between 92 and 96, when Vieira joined, right? How many titles did United win after that? They
One
only
every
lost.
year apart from Blackburn, 95.
There you go. I just want to rest on that.
But what's the point?
Okay,
my point is, right, okay, so Keane's come in 93, and then 94, 95, 96, so all those consecutive years after. Then you've bedded in the 92 period, as I said, the class of 92. The
he
success,
came into a
like the foundations, you were well into sort of your peak.
He came into a winning squad.
He came into a winning squad. That's different to Vieira.
20 seconds on that, please. All right, I agree, but what made him so great, because he transitioned side many times. When we got to 96, he brought in the youth teams. This is when Alan Henson said, famously, after we lost to Villa in the first game of the season, 3-1, that we can't win anything with youths. And this is the same season that Vieira came. Hold on, the same season Vieira came. And I'm saying that we sold Mark Hughes, Paul Ince, and Andrzej Kanchelskis, and we brought, and that's where we were going through transition. So we had a little bump. Took us a while, but that's when Arsenal came up. And fair play, Arsenal delivered, and they brought it.
Yeah, but before I go,
Mr. Solo, do you have any more points, please, sir?
Let me give you one more point, because the thing is that bugging me the most is when I hear people, and I'm going to go back to GunnerKing as well, and the thing that sort of don't really bother me, but the element of it is when I'm hearing fans saying that Arsenal no one knew about their names. And then I'm sitting there thinking, sort of like when Ferguson was going through the transitional period of the class of 92, where everyone do know what the class of 92 is, but before sort of like when Beckham made his debut, when these guys was coming through the ranks, no one knew who they were. No one
But they
at
had
all knew
people
who
like
these guys were.
Cantona and all these guys around them, though. What are you talking about?
You know, like, I'm not disputing that. You know, like,
freaking Paul Ince. They had like what's it called? Marquis, all these players around them. What are you talking about?
We sold them. We sold them by then. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
No, they only sold them when they were ready to come through. They only sold them once they were ready to come through.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying, but one thing I just want to, before I move on to Gumsa, to have the last word, just going back onto the whole why I think Patrick Vieira dragged players up because we had to dispute about the managers.
Sorry,
one thing I would say,
sorry.
One thing I would say is that let me just say this. Wenger and Alex Ferguson had totally two different styles of managing, whereas Ferguson was more autocratic in the sense that he would want total control and ability to coach and to tell you what you should be doing, where you should be, etc., etc. Wenger was totally different. Wenger trusted the players. He let them sort it out, and that's why I'm saying. I mean, that's what we're saying as a fan base. How Vieira dragged people through and up another notch, because Wenger left it to the players. He had a system, fair enough, but Wenger said, "This, you guys, listen." He only spoke 5 minutes at halftime. He let the first 10 minutes. First 10 minutes was for the players.
Okay, can I just respond to that? Can I quickly respond to that? All right. So most of these players, they've got their grounding, they've got their intelligence and their groundwork from the grassroots. They learned that when they're coming through youth academies. Vieira and
come on, man.
So why else would you leave it to these guys? Then they obviously know what they're doing because they've been groomed and they're trained up abroad. Oh, please. Think about it. Anelka, he's turned up, smashed it straight away. Vieira turned up, smashed it straight away. He's developed. He can speak languages. We got him from AC Milan, who's in Italy by that age. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's an easy transition when you've been groomed and developed that way. That's why these players, if you listen to the Arsenal man, the Englishman that were there already, Ray Parlour and the English defenders, they will all say, "Oh, they brought a whole new diet, a whole new example of how to operate, how to manage themselves." Even Dennis Bergkamp, they changed the whole
diet,
the whole culture of the club. Yeah, thank you. They changed the whole culture of the club. So these players were groomed at that from young ages. It's only now in English football that they're developing new players like that at grassroots. These players come in and they already could produce that. So I don't see him. That's why Wenger could put his feet up and chat to
football was different.
Football
was different then.
Hold on, on Monday we say that, yeah.
But please,
I ain't said nothing. I've been quiet.
Gumsa,
I want to hear Gumsa. I really want to hear Gumsa.
I hear what you say, but at the same time, Wenger never changed his philosophy on letting the players talk. And we've had a lot of French players. And since that quality side left, their man had 10 minutes in the change rooms and it didn't work. So actually, as much as we say it was bred into them, we've had many players after that who come from the same development schemes as Vieira and them guys, and still it didn't work. So I hear you, but equally, it's not that easy. Do you know what I mean? That was Wenger's way and it didn't always work because we went how many years with Wenger without a trophy? So it didn't always work. So there is something in Vieira that made it work. Do you know what I mean?
The last thing I'm going to say is, just so you know, Solo spent 15 minutes talking about leadership when he's talking about Keane. That's it. No other attributes, you know. Leadership was his whole segment. Didn't say one thing about his passing, his this, his that. Just leadership, big man, for the whole thing. And he's saying he's better than Vieira. Come on.
All right.
I'm leaving.
Thank you very much.
One thing I will say, look, I think, to be honest, that in itself is one thing that needs commending of Roy Keane.
100%. You can't put a price on it.
That quality in itself, because it can galvanize other players around you. So it's not like
Mitchell is a great leader.
It's not. You know,
but sorry, I'm going to say Nigerian Englishman saying all I spoke about was leadership. But if he rewind and watch this again, he will see. And I said I cannot separate the two players.
No, you did. You did.
I said
I did ask you that one question. If you had to buy what, you can only buy one player, and you did say Keane.
Yeah, I did. But apart from that, I said I cannot separate both players on the pitch.
Okay.
I can't remember Vieira dragging them to win the Champions League and doing all that. I just don't remember.
Yeah, but this is what I was trying to say. This is how I was trying to develop my argument, right? If Keane has spent, he's coming in 93. Now in 92, you won your first Premier League title. Now let me just go through the squad because I've got that here. In 92, you had Peter Schmeichel, probably the best goalkeeper the Premier League, in my opinion, he is.
Oh, probably
right?
the best.
Yeah, he is the best Premier League goalkeeper in the Premier League era, bar no one. Like literally, I don't want to hear no rubbish about Czech. Right? You've got Bruce, you've got Irwin, you've got Pallister, had Paul Parker, you had Giggs, you had Ince, you had Kanchelskis, you had Robson, you had Sharp, you had McClare, right? So this is what I'm saying. This is what he walked into, yeah. And then you had Sir Alex Ferguson, who now by this point, 4 years later, has built up a hell of a lot of steam. Yes, you mentioned those 3 players that you had to get rid of to transition, right? But when Vieira came in, that is the machine he was facing. And they were the dominant economic force, as I said, so they could go out and be more expansive in the market. So when you bring the Champions League talk to the table, I mean, that makes sense, right? You know, like, you know, we weren't in the same realms of reality in terms of stature, you know, current and historical and financial or anything like that. You know, Vieira didn't walk into that kind of squad. Yeah, we had the base. That's like every single position from midfield to attack to defense. Every position was strong that Keane walked into.
I got a question, guys.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Every position from goalkeeper to attacker is strong, and he walks into it and he makes it stronger.
Mr. King, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's all I'm saying.
The last argument for the last word, Mr. Solo, very eloquently put. Thank you very much. Your arguments were heard loud and clear. Gumsa, please take to the stand.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'll be honest. And can I talk truth for you guys? I'm trying to be real and talk truth.
Please.
When we spoke about launching this channel, we said we need to have a debate with another fan channel. So we said, all right, best midfielder. We said, right, Vieira's there. Reached out to a couple of United channels. They said, you're mad. We're never coming on debating that. We're not committing suicide. They didn't come on. We went Man City. They said, Yaya's up there, but we ain't debating that. We ain't doing it. We know. We went Chelsea. We said, look, bring Lampard or Essien. Their man said, boy, we don't want that smoke. We don't want that smoke with Vieira at all. Like, they know who the dominant man is. So we've gone all around. We went to Liverpool. They said, Gerrard's, he's levels, but there's still levels above that, which with Vieira was. We said, who are we going to find to come on this stream? Someone reached out and said, yo, there's 3 guys. There's 3 guys out there. Them man don't mind committing suicide live on TV. We said, who are these guys? We said, which 3 guys are these? They said, it's the tribute act. They look like a tribute act to Black Eyed Peas. They look like the tribute act to Black Eyed Peas. I said, right. Draw them, man, then. So, welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to the channel. We appreciate having you on. It's been fun. I've been listening.
I'm actually crying. Oh, my
you get me? Mr. B, Amandi, Solo, it's all love. But we'll be real.
Crying, boy.
Like, you man put up a good fight, innit? But I'll be real. You got stitched up. There was no point coming on the channel today talking this. I can't believe you actually took the bait. I can't believe you took the bait. I'll be real.
They fully showed up.
They fully showed up, bro. The Black Eyed Peas tribute act showed up. Bro. I can't believe it, bro. Yeah, but all joking aside. Listen, I'll be real. Keane was an absolute baller. Like, Keane was a baller. And I think they brought out the best in each other. There was a couple, like, you know, there's a couple of players you think they made them better. So I'll say Vieira and Keane definitely pushed each other to another level. I think Schmeichel and Ian Wright had that rivalry as well. I love that. I always try and find the clip. I don't know if you guys remember when Ian Wright tackles Schmeichel when they popped the ball.
The 2-footed.
Yeah.
Tried to hurt him.
Yeah, and that
was said some bad things to him as well.
Yeah. And these are my favorite times in football. I'll be honest with you. I do feel Vieira was the more complete player than Keane, but I'm not going to take away from what Keane done. I'm not going to take away from what Keane done in this game. And actually, I would love there to be more Roy Keanes in the game, because football misses that, in my opinion. But on the basis of just the better footballer, I do think Vieira was a better footballer than Roy Keane. But I'm not taking away what Roy Keane brought to Man United, because actually, what you guys are sitting on now, Roy Keane built. Do you know what I mean? So he was a big part of it. Him and Fergie. Again, Vieira might have gone into that dressing room, might not have worked the same. Equally, Roy Keane might have come into our dressing room, might not have worked the same. But for what them guys did for their clubs, unbelievable. So, but I do feel, as a footballer, football level, again with the eye test, and you know me, I'm not going to look at stats, because stats can be deceiving. Because when Vieira's feeding Henry, it's different again, isn't it? So, I'm not going to go stats, but I do think Vieira just had more to his game all round. But Roy Keane was a heck of a player. And again, Roy Keane's mentality, it was different. Do you know what I mean? But lads, it was good. It was nice having you on. Like, there's a couple more debates I know you might want to have. I'll be real with you. Don't waste your time again. If you're coming with Kieran Tierney, Luke Shaw, don't waste your time. You're coming with Saka Greenwood, don't waste your time. Henry and all of them strikers you had, don't waste your time. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain conversations we're having. Now you've had a better team, but individually, don't bring them convos in it. Don't bring them around here. So,
Gumsa's wearing a straight jacket. It looks like he's wearing a straight jacket.
Listen, you're not having to argue kits with our team. Look at what he's wearing. Look what Solo's wearing, and look at his beauty, blood.
All about the retro.
Guys, if you want red stripe, go Jamaica and get a red stripe. That red stripe there is dead, blood. Don't bring that around here, guy. Don't bring that around here, blood. It was nice listening to you lot talk.
United squad that I just went through, I just want to give you the contrast, So in the season that Vieira came, we had Seaman at the back, Lee Dixon, Nigel Winterburn, Steve Bold, Adam. So yes, you correct. That base was solid.
Decent.
But
aging, right?
They were aging, but they were solid. So I'll give you that. We had David Platt, Ian Wright, Merson, Bergkamp. Did we bring him in that season?
Yes.
So we brought him in, so he hadn't been there previously. Same with Anelka
as well.
Yeah, we had like Lingen, Keown, Parler, Hartson. Hartson did all right, I guess.
Wow.
But you can see the clear difference in quality, right, between what Vieira walked into and what Keane walked into.
Can I say something to you?
Arsenal hadn't won the season the previous year.
Can I say something to you, boys?
Like United,
please go ahead, Mr. Solo.
Right now, you guys are sounding like Liverpool fans. And what I mean by Liverpool fans is there's not one Liverpool fan. They've never won a league in 30 years, but there ain't one Liverpool player that would sort of, not one Man United player who's won Champions League and everything, will get in that Liverpool team.
No, we're not saying madness like that.
We're saying that you had the better squad.
Okay, Solo.
But we've got a better squad. But a minute ago, someone said on here, am I hearing things, or did someone say when it comes by player to player, there's no contest?
There's no contest. King's not better than Vieira.
We're talking about great.
So when we're talking about great players and we're talking about Man United and Arsenal, what I'm getting told is that all the Arsenal players in that era, basically, no Man United player could lace their shoes up.
Well, I'm not going to answer that question. You've not been going back and forth all day. One thing I will say to you, if you played for an opposition team, who would you rather play against, Vieira or Keane?
Vieira.
I'd rather play against Vieira.
Yeah.
Are you mad?
No,
he's going to outmuscle you and outball you. You're crazy, bro.
I would hate for a man. Listen, if a man puts the ball over my head, you know what I'm going to do to him?
Right, hold on.
Don't abuse me on TV like that.
Master Dan, Conte, David, and
listen, guys. Listen. All I'm saying is,
do you reckon if Keane was at Arsenal, he would have won the same things as Vieira and vice versa?
Not necessarily. Again, what GunnerKing says, no, as like he said, you don't know if them players would have suited. It's simple. So that's why I keep going back and saying.
I'm saying this.
both
Keane is
players
a player
are
that
on
can
base
only
level.
do bits at Man United. If he went anywhere else, he would get found out. And this might sound controversial. What I'm going to say next.
on base level.
For example,
going unbeaten. Hold on.
Guys, whoa.
Let me land now. Okay, so this might sound controversial, but in the last 2 years, if Sergio Ramos was at Man United, he would look dog shit. But because he's still at Real Madrid, it's just the club just suits him. It just makes sense. Okay, we'll watch him next season. I bet he's going to be dog shit next season.
Let me jump in. Canners, let me jump in. Canners, let me go.
I have the last word because
one man in here I feel is real, and he's the one that's kept the most quiet. So he's obviously the one that's got a bit more sense. Mr. B, I'll let you go. Give me 5 of the top capabilities of a centre midfielder. I'll let you go. Give me 5.
Passing, tackling, headering, composure.
Let's take headering out because we don't play that long ball nonsense. Let's take headering out.
You ask me what I run. I run the team. I'm looking at what I want my central midfield.
Go. Players are watching, bro. Come on, Gum.
Passing, composure.
Passing, composure, definitely. Technique. What do I want from a midfielder? I like my midfielder to have a little bit of dirt. In all fairness.
Yeah, I give you that.
What do I want from my midfielder?
He's trying to think, what is Roy Keane good at? What's Roy Keane good at?
Energy, pace.
Everything I just said Roy Keane was good at. Everything I just said Roy Keane was good at.
He was good at it, but was he better than Vieira at all of them?
No, well, what I did say, if you listen to what I said at the beginning...
This is why I've come to you, because you spoke sense.
Technically, as a footballer, I would give Vieira, as a technical footballer, I don't think Roy Keane is better than Patrick Vieira. But that could have been a French brought-upsy, as in Blue Fontaine. Roy Keane learned his football on the streets of Cork, so it was a different a different teaching mentality. Roy Keane had to play how he played because of where he grew up playing. Patrick Vieira obviously had the talent, and it was nurtured at Blue Fontaine, so he will always be technically better. Always be technically better, just because of where. I mean, all right, if they had started exactly the same technical capabilities, but Patrick Vieira took his training like he did from Blue, he would be a better footballer, just because what he's been taught and who he's been taught by. So hands up, I'm not going to sit here and say Roy Keane was a better technical footballer than Patrick, because he wasn't.
Go.
I think that's a good note to end on.
I think it is. Guys,
Ferguson tried to sign him. What does that tell you?
He did.
He had Keane in his midfield, and he still tried to sign Vieira from us.
He did.
You're selling club. You always sell to us.
But if Keane was the complete piece in the jigsaw that he had in that time, then why was he trying to
say something to you now?
Vieira?
Can I say something?
You know what, Solo? I'm going to give you the last word. I'm going to give you the last word.
Do you know why Ferguson tried to sign him? And when
educate us, Solo. Educate.
Yeah, the reason why Ferguson tried to sign him is a simple fact of the matter is Roy Keane had a hip replacement. And he wanted to bring someone back in.
He tried to sign him way before that.
Good night, guys.
No. He tried. Roy Keane had a hip replacement at age 30. That's when Roy Keane had his hip replacement. Yeah. I think Vieira was about 27, 28 when he tried to sign him.
Okay.
Cool story, bro.
Can I just say something, please? What Gumsa was just saying. Progressive passing. Go look at Roy Keane's real game. Not the image that you have of our studs up where he's studying people and stamping all over people.
I love Roy Keane.
Look at his progressive passing. Look at his pass.
Listen, we've all had our chances. We've all had our chances.
Like 99%.
Hold on.
We have all had our chances.
Still not better than
I am
Vieira's.
now resting
It was good.
all cases.
Roy Keane is better.
And I'm just going to now total up everyone's arguments. Just been 1 second.
This look like a studs up. This look like a little thing we do on studs up, man.
Stitch up. It's
a stitch up. That's it. We know it's a stitch up.
King. Yeah.
We don't copy nothing from studs up, guys.
And I'll be honest, Canners. It's not even 4 against 3 because Mr. B's on our side. So right now it's 5 against 2.
I'm taking everything into account.
By the way,
Mr. B, we know we won't ever get you to admit that,
mine's a
Mr. B,
draw.
but we know the
Mine's a
truth.
draw.
We know
Both
we
of
won't
them
get
are
you to
quality
admit
players.
it.
Mine's a draw.
Sorry, and yeah, Mr. Solo, very
I'm a
compelling.
draw.
Yeah, Vieira. Right, guys, thank you very much. And I say respect to the guys to come on today for our first
Black Eyed
show
Peas.
on the Armoury TV.
Can we start?
Where is the love?
Not here, that's for sure.
Show some love, show some love. Guys,
It's all love, guys. I can't wait to come on the agenda. I'm ready for the agenda. I'm ready.
Monday night, boys.
Love.
Monday night.
Thank
Monday
you,
night.
guys.
Monday
We
night.
didn't set you up, man. It was a good debate, great debate. You guys brought your arguments to the table, very compelling, but you still lost. But you know that's how it is on the Armoury TV. We're at home. We're at home. Listen,
And Keane comes and crushes you at home. Remember that.
listen. All I can say is that look, you're gonna get more of this from the Armoury TV. This is our opening show. Thank you, guys.
Big up.
Solo 7,
Big up.
Amanda Juma, Mr. B. Big up yourselves. Love.
Love.
And obviously, we have our staples. We have our obviously our foundations. GunnerKing, Gumsa, and Nigerian Englishman One Touch. Bless. Listen, it's been emotional today. I tell you what, man, it's been emotional.
And long.
And all I can say is that Vieira is the best midfielder ever. Keane is, you know, he's there.
They're both as great as each other.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
To a point.
But technically,
he's
Vieira's
a great
better.
leader. He's a great leader. We give him leadership. We give him leadership.
Yeah. The leadership award goes to Roy Keane.
He's up there with Henderson with leadership.
You know those ones.
Henderson. That's all you know.
Sanders, you should have just closed. Look at you.
Yeah, no, you know the awards like where he gets the managers player of the year. That's Keane, and the players player. That's the one you want. The players player.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be had on like who was the better leader. I think like that one is a bit more difficult to debate either way. But as a footballer, come on now. Like,
Can I just say last thing?
Go on, your last thing.
I actually believe this. Arsenal fans, right? They're more interested in who would win in the fight. That's what they want to see. That's where they gauge who's better player. Oh, he would beat him up. Oh, he's not scared. He's not scared. That's what I see happening here.
Oh man.
Anyway,
we leave that anyway.
This is not a pilot episode. You're going to go on to big things with this great panel you got here. Fantastic, guys. Well done.
Big up, man.
Thanks for coming,
Guys.
Guys,
Listen, keep it tuned. Listen, on the Armoury TV, we've got GunnerKings at court. So that's coming up in this week. Lots more coming up. Obviously, we have our regular Wednesday Gunslingers. And also, listen, much more to come. We'll be seeing more of us.
Guys, smash it.
Peace.
Love the channel. Smash it,
guys.
guys.
Well done, man.
Smash that like, yeah. Smash
Peace.
that and subscribe, guys.